Hello, hello, AP friends. How are you? Well, you can't answer back. I don't know why I said that, but I'm just so used to it. I hope you're well. I wanted to make this quick introductory video, not teaching any lessons right here, but just to kind of give you a quick overview over, to wrap your mind on what's left to learn, which is still a good bit before you would need to take an AP exam. And to answer your question that probably just popped in your brain, I have no idea about the AP exam. I'm assuming they're still on. I know that all state mandated testing has been suspended. The AP exam is not a state mandated test. So until further notice, I'm assuming they're happening, and I'm going to try to teach you everything that you would need to know to be somewhat successful on that test. I've got a dry erase marker board here, and I'll be using that to do some lessons. I've got a piano keyboard behind me, and we can do some ear training online and things like that through these videos. So real quick, here's what's left. I charted everything from where we left, which was through chapter 7. Now starting in chapter 8. So chapter 8, I don't know, I hope you can read this. If not, I'm going to read through it. Chapter 8 is harmonic composition, and the basic idea of that chapter is part writing. Which is a part of the free response of the AP exam. Chapter 9 is harmonic progression. The main premise of that chapter is going to be harmonizing a melody, which is also a free response portion of the exam. Chapter 10 is called melodic composition. There's a lot of vocabulary, or some vocabulary in that chapter. And the primary concept kind of taught there are non-harmonic tones. So in a melodic line, the notes that don't fit into the chords, right, that are outside of those chords. Chapter 11 is melodic dictation. We've already done some of that, a lot of that in class. So that'll be, we actually may skip a video on that, and I'll just do some ear training videos with you, but that's one that we've already kind of covered. Chapter 12, key relationships. The main idea behind that chapter is modulations. So how do you go from one key to another? It kind of stays within what are called common chords, common chord pivots, and we'll learn about that in chapter 12. Chapter 13, this will be kind of the doozy, secondary function harmony. We mentioned this briefly in class from time to time, and I usually kind of skirt the conversation of, well, what happens if a chord doesn't function in that key? It functions in another key, but it's not a modulation. It's just an isolated moment of what's called tonicization of another key, temporarily tonicizing another key, but not a full modulation. That's going to be interesting to teach virtually, but I will do my absolute best. Chapter 14, harmonic composition, which is really just an in-depth chapter 8. It's pretty much the exact same thing, just more in-depth. So we should be able to get through that fairly quickly. Chapter 15, harmonic dictation, which is a free response portion of the test. Chapter 16, visual score analysis, which is lots of vocabulary and the covering transposition. The remaining chapters out of the book that I've been using, which is the Barron's book, chapters 17 through 22, are all just strategies, so test-taking strategies. If we can get to those, I definitely will share them with you, but my goal is just to at least get through chapter 16, which takes us through all of the kind of the new material. This sounds like a lot, but it is doable. Right now we're scheduled to go back on, I guess, May 18th, which would be a Monday. That's 8 weeks. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 9 chapters on this board that we have to cover. And we've already talked about a couple that we've already done, like melodic dictation. Chapter 14, again, is more in-depth of chapter 8. So I think we can get through this, guys. It's not going to be easy, but we can do this. And then finally, whenever this AP exam happens, they're obviously not happening on schedule, right? Because they would happen in the first 2 weeks of May. They're obviously if they're going to happen, they're going to be later. If we can get to taking a full practice AP exam. I have 2 full practice AP exams that I'd like to share with you. that might be more when we come back, that we can kind of get into that. We could review and then do those. I want to urge you, just lastly, continue with your work and ear training on musictheory.net. Do the interval training, do the pitch training, and all of that stuff that is there in that free website. So go through those tutorials and use those to train your ears. Do that daily, even if it's only 5 minutes. Do that daily. All right, I'm going to call it a video for now. I'm going to try to do a video probably later on this evening on this chapter 8 harmonic composition. So with the part writing stuff. So stay tuned, be well, and stay healthy. I'll see you on the next video.